Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chloe and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As you can see, that is a cat that's currently eating. She's always featured in my videos, and I hope you enjoy the kitty action that's going to be happening because she is especially needy today for some reason. So first of all, I really want to thank you guys for, I always say the same things, but I want to thank you guys for all the support that I've been receiving on the channel. Specifically, I'm almost at 130 subscribers right now. There's one of my videos that's almost at 8,000 views, which to me is what the fuck? Like, I can't even comprehend. Hey, she's coming. I can't even comprehend like how people find my videos interesting. For some reason, you guys do, and I just really appreciate you, every single one of you. And so yeah. I do have a topic for today's video. So I was talking about this with one of my best friends fairly recently, and it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. But you know, when you're thinking about things, but you can't really put those things into words for sure until you fully comprehend what's going on, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is happening in my life. And this video is addressed for every person that's in their mid-20s right now. So I'm 25. I'm gonna be 26 this December. So I came to the realization, talking to my friend, that in your 20s, it's probably the time where you lose the most friendships. Sounds pretty like scary and like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose all my friends. You don't lose all of your friendships, but I do think a big chunk of friendships are lost in your 20s. And let me explain why. So I came to this conclusion with my friend while we were talking, and I feel like in your 20s, I'm 100% convinced that people don't really know what they're doing. Like, everyone's just pretending. There's just some people that are really good at pretending, and there's people that are not as good at pretending. So I do think that to some degree, we all as a society, like as a collective, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. That's basically my philosophy with life. I feel like some people are just really good at pretending, and some people just aren't as good and they're judged more. But I think that even though nobody really fully knows what the fuck they're doing, in your mid-20s and when you're approaching 30, it's usually when you really start to know yourself the most, like your identity, what you really like, what you really dislike, what your interests are, where you want to go, what you want to do in life. And it doesn't mean that you have it all figured out, because I don't think you ever do, but I do think you kind of comprehend more where you want to be in life and what things bring you joy and what things don't bring you joy anymore, and what things you can tolerate, and you know, your standards and your boundaries, like all those things. I feel like they're strengthened in your 20s throughout the rest of your life, but they kind of like start to strengthen during your 20s, if that makes sense. And so one of the results of these things happening is the loss of maybe friendships that you've built through your childhood. Like, I've recently lost a lot of friendships. I've lost friendships because of specific things that have happened that made me drift apart from these people. Not in like, it's weird because when you're an adult, like when you're in your 20s and beyond, it's not like you can have a crazy fight with someone and like not be in touch with them anymore. But in my case, it's more so of like drifting apart because of differences that you kind of like both know that you don't want to figure out, you don't want to go work through it. And it's kind of like unspoken but understood that you're not compatible anymore as friends, and so you just don't hang out anymore. That's what's happened with a lot of my friendships, at least. And some of them were like, I drifted apart from them because of specific things that happened in the relationship. And for some of them, I think it happened because we were just at such different places in life that we were just not compatible as friends anymore. Like, I have friendships that I've had ever since I was like 5 and 8 years old, who I ended up drifting apart from completely because I don't have anything in common with them, and they're not bad people, and I'm not a bad person, and you know, they're killing it. They're doing amazing in their lives, and we're all doing our own thing, and I'm happy for them and they're happy for me, but we just don't click anymore. And I think that happens a lot in your 20s, and it can feel very scary to feel like your circle is reduced. And I do understand that some people thrive off like big friends groups and like having like social gatherings. And sometimes I will admit, I wish I had, you know, like in TV shows, like this big friends groups where they just hang out and like order food and like go out and do all these things. I'm a person that kind of like thrives on one-on-one relationships. Like I have two very close best friends, my boyfriend and my family. Like that's pretty much all. And then I have like coworkers that I'm really good, you know, good acquaintances, or I have people that I go to college with, who are not really my friends, but I would consider like we're friendly. But sometimes the kind of like social introvert, because I do consider myself like I'm between an introvert and an extrovert. The more extroverted side of me kind of like wants to do those things and like be social and have big friends groups and outings and like having, I just really love the idea of having like a dinner at my apartment, like where I can cook for my friends. And I do that sometimes. I really do. But I don't have a big friends group. And I started to realize that the reason of that is because of what I just, you know, been talking about this whole video. Like in your 20s, you do lose friendships a lot. But also, I am the kind of person that really, really thrives on one-on-one relationships. I don't do well with friends groups. There's a lot of drama. And even if you're in your 20s, there's still gonna be drama. And I'm not saying there's not, like, there's probably friends groups out there that don't have any drama and they're super healthy and there's really good dynamics, but it has never been my case. Like, there's always, like, people going behind each other's backs and, like, gossip and, like, people that fuck and, like, everything gets very kind of, like, weird. And I don't know, I just had really, like, weird experiences in high school with friends groups. I had a really, really big friends group in high school and it didn't, I don't talk to any of them. Like, and we were like 8 people in that group. And as I said, I wish everyone that at some point was my friend the best. It's just that I feel like if you're in your 20s, you should be ready to lose friends. And even if that sounds terrible and scary and like, oh my God, why would you say that? It is something that will happen. And inevitably, it could happen, you know, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Like, I don't even know if there's like a limit as to losing friendships, but yeah. I've also been on the kind of like side of this situations of like breakups, like friendships that feel like breakups. I've had really, really bad like friends breakups before. But those happen like in my teens. As I said, I feel like right now, the people that I've lost in my life, in the sense of we're not friends anymore, I truly care about those people and I truly wish them the best. I just don't think we're compatible anymore. And like it's come to a point where you realize that when you hang out with them, it doesn't provide you more than it takes from you. And what I mean is, every single person that's in my life right now, and I'm really proud to say this, every single person that's in my life right now, after I see them, after I hang out with them, I feel more energized than I was before I saw them. And I know some people are introverted and they, you know, I'm also an introvert to some degree, but I know some people always get exhausted from social interaction. But in my personal case, it is a really good sign when I realize that I'm getting all of this energy from seeing someone, and from interacting with them. And if I'm getting really exhausted after I'm seeing someone, if hanging out with someone makes me anxious or uncomfortable, or I feel emotionally exhausted after I interacted with them, that's a really big sign for me to cut ties, or at least like evaluate the relationship and see, hey, what the fuck is going on with this friendship, because I don't feel good. And as I said, I understand that there's people that are just naturally introverted and every social interaction will be exhausting for them. When I was growing up, I was much more introverted than I am now. I'm still consider myself like an introvert with some extroverted sides of me. But growing up, every social interaction, I would say, did take a toll on me, and I felt very emotionally and physically drained after interacting with almost everyone, I would say, even like partners. But at this point in my life, I feel like, you know, the feeling that you get after, or the feeling that I personally get after hanging out with someone, tells me a lot about the relationship. I'm sorry, but can you please appreciate this? You're so cute. Sorry, I had to do that. So yeah, I really want to hear you out on this. I want to see like, hey, how old are you? I want to know how old you guys are in the comments, and I also want to see like, have you been losing friends throughout your 20s, or when was the time where you started losing more friendships? And I also want to say the friendships that I have now, I do prioritize like quality over quantity. Like when I was younger, I felt like a loser if I didn't have like a big group of friends, and I still have that little teenager side of me inside of me that feels a little bit down when I don't have friends dinner parties and I don't have, you know, realizing that I don't have a big friends group and stuff. But I actually understand myself and I know how I operate and how my brain operates and how I am emotionally, and I can tell you that quality for me is way more important than the quantity of friends that I have, because it really does affect the way that I feel in my everyday life, how supported I feel, how happy I feel, how much stress and anxiety I'm feeling. Because I think having a lot of friends that maybe do not bring a lot to the table and make you feel very, very stressed and anxious is also not good. Just because you have a lot of friends doesn't mean that you have good friends. And this is not to say that big, healthy friends groups exist, because I'm pretty sure some people out there have achieved this. I can't wait to see what you guys say in the comments, because I always really, really enjoy reading your comments. It's so much fun. And tell me your experience. First off, I want to know how old you are, and I also want to know, like, have you lost friends recently? Because if you have, join the club, I guess. Thank you again so much for watching my videos, guys. I really, really, truly appreciate you. And yeah, if you want to see more videos from me, just subscribe to my channel, comment, like, all of the things that you can do to interact with me. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.